Wouldn't it be cool to have your own custom character sheet with exactly what you want, exactly where you want it? Or if you're playing a rules light game, you could put the entire rule set on a single sheet of paper folded up so that you've got a zine that fits in your pocket. So no matter where you go, you can play it. You bet your biscuits that'd be awesome. And that's exactly what I do with pretty much every single game that I play. I make my own pocket sized zine out of a single page. And I want to show you exactly how I do that so that you can do it for yourself. With just a little bit of know-how, I'll breeze through this, but you should be able to see enough to get it done yourself. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, then you better stick around. This is a small zine for Adventurespiel, which is a cool kind of rules light dice pool game that's a lot of fun, super interesting, and a lot of it is the artwork on here. But you can make your own custom character sheet, all that kind of good stuff. There are pre-printed ones on Drive-Through RPG that I've found, and I want to just kind of show you what all goes into this, and we'll do that here on the computer, and then I'll actually fold one up and show you kind of the origami involved. It's not complicated, it just takes some shape rotation at first, but once you get it, you go, oh, okay, that's cool. I now know how to do that. So we'll cover everything from creating it to printing it to cutting it up, and that's pretty much it. So let's look at the computer. I'm using a program called Affinity Publisher. I like Affinity because you buy it once and then you've got the license forever. I hate Adobe, even though I've used it for a long, long time. I prefer Affinity now. And what I did was I made sure that there was a margin around the page. It's 0.2 inches in case you're interested, but really your printer at home will have its own margin that it can't print in because you probably don't have an industrial printer that can do bleeds and then you cut down to size. So if you're printing at home, your printer is going to have some edge around it where it can't print. And I wanted to just kind of make this in the document setup. I set a 0.2 inch bleed. Then I was like, okay, where is it going to fold? It's going to fold right in half. So I put a guide on there. And then I wanted there to be a margin around the fold. And I found exactly where these go because it's not mathematically perfect. It's not dead center and then cut that in center so that you've got four equal spaces, because as the paper folds, it's going to be in just a little bit different place. So I made lines, printed it out, folded it up, see where the lines matched the fold, then it's good. If the line was off a little bit over here, I came back and moved the guide over so that it was in the correct spot. Once I got that dialed in, I saved this as the template so I can open this up and then create my own, and I know that all the content is going to be in the right place for when it prints out at 100%. I don't want to scale it down because that would throw off the folding. You'll see what I mean if you forget this detail. But I always print it at 100% and then it will match perfectly. And for the layout, the front cover is in the lower right hand corner, the back cover is on the left side of the lower right hand quadrant, and then it goes in counterclockwise order from first page, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, so that you get something like this. Here's the cover, and then page number 1 is right here, page number 2 is right there, then page 3 and 4, page 5 and 6, and back cover. So if we open this up into one single page, you can see that the front cover is in the lower right hand corner. The back cover is right there. Here's page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 right there. So we'll go over this fold in just a little bit, but now you can see how it matches from template to finished booklet, right? Now, you can make anything in Publisher in Designer, and here is a character sheet that I made for which is basically a D6 port of Starforged. called cast iron, and these are the 5 kind of ways you get things done. And these are the elements that I took for my character, and I needed to track health and needed to track spirit because these are your 4 things that you're keeping track of. And here is my momentum tracker, and I made this little area for the name. I can print the name. You could even do that, which that is very big text. So let's get this wrangled a little bit. So if you prefer the um, printed look, you could print the character name there, or if you want to just handwrite this in, you can leave that space blank and do that. Jin Echo, by the way, is kind of my go-to character in the world that I like playing in. It's just kind of my go-to hacker in a cyberpunk world that I constantly play in. So different rule sets that I use, I'm almost always playing that same character. I know that goes against the thrill and fun of role playing, but hey, that's how I roll. And these are those edges and stuff, and then these are the progress clocks that you've got to keep track of. And to do it here, just to show you, beginning projects, you want one that's kind of epic level, which means that when you accomplish something, you fill in one detail. So you fill in one quadrant, and then there's a beginning kind of easier quest that you start with. So when you accomplish something, you fill in 4, 5, 6 of those. So this tells you how many to fill in based on the difficulty, and then this is what it is you're trying to accomplish, and then here's where you keep track of it. And to begin, you've got an individual, and what are they good for, what community are you a part of, and what are they known for. And then these are all the different storylines and threads that you're going to experience. So that's why I made so dang many of these. And then here's a hex map for stuff. And you know what? View. Let's see if we can rotate it. Left view, rotate left. There we go. Now we can see this upright. I know not everybody can see things upside down like I do, but here's a little hex map in case you wanted to keep track of stuff. You could add little characters with a mechanical pencil or whatever. If you want a simple yes no rolling die and you're like it's almost certain, that's it. Or yeah, so small chance, roll a 6, roll a 2 or higher, just don't roll a 1 basically, right? So there's your oracle right there. And then here are the rolling tables. Let's kind of reset this rotate. Boop. And now you're running into an NPC, so it's a D66. So you roll a 1, and then it would be here, and you rolled a 5 on the other one, so it'd be Fringe. Anarchist is if you rolled a 4-1, right? So whatever tables you need, and if you need to pay the price, what's that going to be? We'll roll 3d6, so you're most commonly going to be here in the middle, and then less and less common out to the edges, and less common out to the edges. So you can set your own tables and have everything that you need to run your game how you want. And you can put this anywhere that you want. Plot twist, there you go. So this can be the whole game or just the stats with your spells or abilities or rules. Whatever you want to put in here, you can put in here. Like, here's a dice game I grew up playing with my mentors and friends. So I made this to help introduce folks to the game of Greed, which is a lot of fun. Like, it goes way back to basically Roman times, as far as I know. I could be very, very wrong about it. But that's kind of it, right? And I wanted to talk about this one because here's a layout that I made, but the way that it comes is with the cover is in the upper right hand corner and the back cover is here. So if you fold this up, then the seam, the fold will be at the bottom, and for some reason I really prefer having the fold at the top of the booklet and the open part of the page at the bottom. This just makes more sense to me. It would drive me nuts to have the seam at the bottom. So what I did was I opened up this PDF, I took screenshots, pasted them into my template, and I just put them in the correct order for me, and then I could print it out. So that's kind of a super valuable thing to know. But that's really it. Right? You can draw whatever you want. If you wanted to get fancy with it, you could hit P for pen, and then just draw different shapes. If you like a sci-fi shape kind of thing, there you go. And let's add a stroke around it, and we'll make it on the outside so that it's kind of soft. But what if we wanted it more beveled and hard? There we go. So now you can make this a HUD, or you could even add in other elements to it, like a line. So you could make all of these do whatever you want, right? Because then you could divide this up, and this is your progress tracker, or whatever you need these segments to represent. You can just create it super fast. Of course, button it up so that all these are in the right spot, right? So you want to do that. But I'm not going to spend the whole time tweaking this. But you see how quickly you can do this and get it down to exactly what you want, and now it's your custom character sheet. So once you've got this dialed in, you print it out, and then you get something that looks like so. And the way to fold this up, I'll try to do this in the air so that you can see it, but there are guides online that show you step by step. So basically, we fold it up like so. Make sure that everything is lined up properly. I'm going to get this a little janky because I'm doing it in the air. But you fold it up like this, and you can crease it with your fingernails, or if you are a handy crafter, you can get a bone folder and then really crease it down. And I do recommend that you fold it both ways so that it's a little more supple in terms of the fold. So you've got that. Then you fold it in half the opposite way so that it's super straight, and we'll see how straight that was. There we go. So now you've got it kind of folded in quarters, and you've got the crease there, and just like the other one, fold it backwards and put a crease in that one. So now, while it's folded kind of inside out, I fold this edge back, crease it, and then make sure that it's all creased. So you are folding it in quarters, and then this guy gets folded up in quarters as well, and you crease it down. So now it's kind of like an accordion fold, and then crease these going the opposite way. I promise, once you get used to this, this will go super fast, and it'll make a lot of sense. You won't have to think about it much. But at first, it's a real hassle. Not gonna lie. real hassle. So you've got it folded in half the long way and then in half the short way 1, 2, 3 times. So it's in quarters and in half there. All right. So now I always fold it to the outside this way. So it's in half. And it's this seam right here that you're going to take your scissors and cut it right along that seam. So I'm going to try to do this so that the camera can see what's going on. But I'm putting the scissors right on that seam, and then we're going to cut through, but then stop right before we get through that other quadrant. So now what we've got is this kind of situation, right? So we've got the paper is cut through the middle half with the outer quadrants still good. So then all you do is you take the paper and fold it. So now it's like so, and instead of it being flat, you just squish it together. So you've got the cover and everything. It just kind of folds over like this. So now you've got the front cover here, back cover there. And then you close the book. Now you can flatten everything, and there is your zine. That's it. That's it. You can go through and really flatten things down with the bone folder, but that is kind of the quick and dirty way that you can make your own zine, your own custom character sheet, that kind of thing. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, what else do you want to know? I'd like to share it, but this is pretty dang cool. And I would also highly suggest that you watch this video next.